Hello, everybody. This is PapaDenk. Welcome to an all new Beyond the Barricade. We are live right now, all over Facebook, all over YouTube. We're even on Twitch on the Beyond the Barricade podcast. All the other places we're on as PapaDenk. So we are powered by StreamYard. Our official sponsor is Pro Brothers Custom Aesthetics. Please make sure you give them a call at 631 953-1452 for all your Long Island home improvement needs. Oh, look at that. We didn't even start. We already got some comments here. My son, Brandon. Hello. Johnny Blitz. What's up, Smuggles? Nice to see you. All right. So let me introduce my next guest for the episode. So let me start with this first. Beyond the Barricade is not just about wrestling, although I love wrestling, and mostly it's about wrestling. But sometimes we like to add the mix. Like we had K7 on from TKA fame one time, and this is no different. We're going to introduce our next very special guest, the one, the only DJ Roosta. What's happening, brother?
What's going on, PapaDenk?
What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Relaxing a little bit. One of my very, very rare days off. So, I can't complain.
I hear you. I hear you. Dudes at Ringside says, yo.
What's up?
What's up, dudes? All right. Let's start off with how we met.
Well, we met through a show on VPW, which I always enjoy going there. I love the action and everything. We kind of met in passing. It was like, hey, what you about? And we kind of talked a little bit, and
we have a mutual friend too.
Oh yeah, our mutual friend, Absolute Alvin Alvarez. One of my real good friends. I got to see him sometime real soon. But
absolute.
when he's in the ring, he's serious all the time.
Just so you know, coming up in February is Notorious, the next VPW event, Saturday night, February 11th. Make sure you get your tickets at victoryprowrestling.com. Just had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
Of course, no problem.
All right, so let's start off with this question. How did you start DJing?
So, I end up going to a bunch of bars and a bunch of clubs and like, oh wow, I wish I can do that. But how I really got started was just basement parties for friends. I used to take as corny as it might sound, I got really $100 mixer, so I can have a channel 1 and channel 2, and I hooked up 2 Xboxes to each channel. And then I had two TVs on there so I can know what I was doing. That was like my kind of introduction to DJing. Not saying it was the greatest, but at least, at least showed me the ropes and everything. As time went on, I got a lot better.
All right. So now you got a lot better DJing, let's say.
Yes, sir.
When was your first where was your first gig at?
My first professional gig was in 2009. It was a Sweet 16. I was working for a company out in Seaford. Okay. They kind of just put you through the reins and everything, especially with something that high end, because these are people's moments. You don't want to mess that up at all. This is something going to be a photo album somewhere down the line.
Absolutely.
So they taught me how to do everything. They gave me all my startup equipment, and it was off to the races after that.
So let me touch on this subject. So obviously it's a moment. If there was a bad moment, so that ruins the whole vibe.
It does, because you got to realize no matter what event it is, whether it's a bar, club, a special event, private event, a DJ is the heart of the party. So, you also want to be, if you're in that, say you're saying like it's a bad vibe, you really need to figure out how you can get it back to a good vibe, because the last thing you want to do is have people walking out or mad at you.
Absolutely. It's just like a photographer at a wedding, let's say. If they mess up your wedding photos, it's a bad omen for that marriage.
Not nice at all. Nope.
Oh, wait. That happened to me. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I had to throw that in.
It's all right.
Some marriage humor vibes. So how did you come up with DJ Roosta?
So when I got into DJing, the type of music I liked a lot was basically a dancehall reggae vibe. I didn't want to be called DJ Rasta, because I don't know if there's a DJ Rasta out there, but it's too easy. So I was like, okay, I need something that's going to be catchy, a little bit annoying, and then something that you're never going to forget. So I just kind of a play off of words. I took the word Rasta and just kind of took letters and switched them around. And then when I got to Roosta, I was like, all right, I could mess with that a little bit.
Yeah, what about the logo? Hold on a sec while I bring that up real quick so everybody can see it. That
So
logo is like awesome. Let me tell you. I love it. It's unique. It's original. How'd you come up with that?
thank you, man. It was a team effort. I have a buddy of mine. I'll give him a quick shout out. He goes by DJ Impact. We sat there. We just went over a couple of things, and my whole thing that I was saying before with the whole dancehall of reggae feel.
Mhm.
That's how that line is.
Right.
But then I always like my house music, and I always think if you ever look at any of these huge festivals, there's always like these bright highlighted colors and something that grabs your attention. So even
Yeah.
though the local stuff has the line in there where it represents the dancehall and the reggae, you can see from
Mhm.
the headphones and then the I like to call them snowboard shades.
Yeah.
You
Look
know
at
it,
that
it
thing.
definitely.
That thing is
Yeah.
like eye-catching. I see
Oh
that
yeah.
from a distance. I'm like, "What is that?"
Oh yeah, well, the next step I gotta do is put down some kind of t-shirts because that's gonna go. I love it.
Oh, definitely. You gotta put it. Yo, count me in. I'll get a T-shirt. I
Oh,
want a DJ Rooster
definitely.
T-shirt.
Thank you. But
I
yeah,
still
like I
got
said,
I still gotta
yeah,
get an Alvin T-shirt, so you might be a little upset with
it's all right.
me.
Listen, we both do. Don't feel bad.
Okay. Sorry, Alvin, if you're watching.
It's all love, Alvin. He knows it.
Oh, we got a question from you, from Dudes at Ringside. What's your favorite stuff to play?
So, if anyone knows what a major laser is, and that's basically a vibe. They're a group that has a mix between mainly reggae and house music,
Mhm.
but they play music from all over the world. So you might hear things from them from Brazil or like India, anything like that. But I like to stay in those types of things, where I can put music out there that you may not hear on the radio, but still has a catchy beat. Like, oh, you know what? I can dance to this. So
Right.
the answer to dudes at ringside, it has to be that middle ground between reggae and house and a little bit of dance music.
Okay, okay. What are some of your favorite tracks that you like to play for people that gets the joint jumping?
Uh oh, what genre? I guess that's a fair question, right?
Let's start with reggae first.
Okay, so I like to do anything Beanie Man.
Mhm.
Beanie Man's a really good go to. Sean Paul's another good one.
Okay.
Everyone
Sean
knows
Paul.
the Sean
Everybody
Paul.
knows Sean.
And then of course, if you really in the gym, you can always get away with Shaggy. You
Oh,
can always get away with Shaggy.
you can always get away with Shaggy.
Yeah, exactly.
Next genre. Let's go with hip hop.
So hip hop's a difficult one because you got to figure out what decade you're thinking of. So like if it's an older crowd like my age, I'm 38.
Uh,
And you throw let's say jump around. I understand that, I enjoy it. But if
right.
you have someone that's like 18, they may or
Yeah.
may not. You know what I'm
They
saying?
won't.
So
They won't connect with it, right?
it really just depends. You just got to know exactly what your crowd is, and then when you go from there, then you can put a little maybe pop smoke in there. You can do maybe
Mhm.
Tupac. Maybe you can throw in some Dr. Dre, Eminem. But like I said, it really hip hop. You really got to know your crowd. You really have to.
What about my favorite of all time, Biggie Smalls?
Of course. See, you got
Ah,
to know your crowd. Exactly what I just said.
oh, when Biggie plays, man, I'm out there.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
Everyone,
dancing.
everyone can always sing every Biggie song. You know the words.
Did you see that statue they put up in Brooklyn for him?
I did. I saw the article and everything about that. I really definitely want to go out there and see that.
Yeah,
That's definitely earned, man.
that's a must for any Biggie fan.
I agree. I just hope that no one does anything horrible to it. That's my main concern, but it
I
definitely deserves to
know,
be there.
definitely. I have every single Biggie Funko Pop except for one, and it's because it's like worth 2 grand right now.
See,
It's
Funko
on my
Pops.
list. I'm gonna own it one day. One day I'm gonna own
Listen, go to eBay. You get a good deal out there.
it. All right, let's go to dance.
um. All right. So hmm, I like early, I think 2000 house. Throwing like let me think about it. See, it's a remix of "I Wanna Dance with Somebody," but that's really the Whitney
Oh,
Houston one, but
right, right.
they remixed it.
They did, yeah.
There's just so many. You got the Hardwell Love remix, but that's kind of a, oh man, Show Me Love. I can't think. Robin S. Robin
Oh,
S is a
okay.
remix for that. Like there's so
Yeah,
many in there. But like I
there's
said,
so many.
it also goes back to the decades again. Because the newer house music is good. Like one of my favorites is Animals. And that
Uh-huh.
came out maybe, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6 years ago. Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe a little longer. But like I said, you just gotta know your stuff.
Gotcha. I think one of my all-time favorites is Maria by TKA.
See, see that's so funny about that because if you hear Worry about TKA, some people will say that's definitely a freestyle mix, just in that genre. But then some
Right.
people say it's house. So me personally, I think it's freestyle. Hands down, it's freestyle. You can mix that with with Stevie B or anything like that in a heartbeat.
Uh,
But it depends who you talk to on that.
let's talk about freestyle for a minute. Are you a fan of freestyle?
Oh, so the funny thing is, this is getting in the DJing.
Mhm.
I really didn't know what freestyle was, to be
Right.
honest with you. And
Okay.
then as I got into DJing and I got to my crowds, I started to learn more and more about it. And then once I learned everything about it, I needed to, I had an appreciation for it. Like that's like when TKA came out here in Long Island, they were at the amphitheater and then they were also at Dublin Deck. It's
That's where we bumped into each other.
yeah, exactly. So but it's definitely nice. And then you when you see them, you see freestyle live, you have an appreciation for it because they really had the love, for the vocals and the beat and everything like that.
Right.
And it's nothing I don't think can ever be duplicated ever again. It's just a genre all by itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my favorite moments in my life was having K7 shout me out in front of everybody.
So, yeah, exactly. It's the small things like, oh, you know me.
Some you'll never forget. Just like this
Yeah,
last weekend, I went to work at a Remarkable Wrestling
okay.
in Queens, and they had Hoovy
Oh
Guerrero,
wow.
and they called me over to get his coat because he was in the ring, and
Hmm.
he's like, "Hey, jabroni, that's a $3,000 coat. Be careful with that." And it's just something you never forget.
I know it's like half of you like, don't call me like that, but you know what? I love this
Right.
moment. Keep going, keep going with it.
Tell me about a moment that you had that you never forgot,
um
as far as DJing is concerned.
all right. Well, there was a moment where through DJ and everything, I was able to go to backstage a lot, different clubs and whatnot.
Oh, all right.
And
Oh, you
so
got some
many
good stories now.
I met so many different people. One of my favorite ones was it was Inspector Deck was at it was Emporium, now Stereo Garden. Inspector
Hmm.
Deck was there, and just to sit down and talk to him, I was able to sit in the DJ booth for Little John, which was
Oh,
on my
all
birthday
right.
nonetheless, which is really cool.
Wow.
It's just little moments like that, and then they're not really going to give you all their time, which is understandable, but just to
Right,
get a
right.
good like 5 minutes just talking to them and say, "Hey, I'm doing it like this. How should I do it?" It's priceless. You'll never get that. You know what I'm saying?
You got to talk to Little John?
For a little bit, it was really quick. He did a
Really?
set because first of all, I didn't even know Little John DJ'd. I had no idea
Me
he
neither.
DJ'd, and then he has a residency. I don't know if he still has it, but he had one in Vegas for a while.
Mhm.
But he can DJ. He's at the same kind of DJing that I like to do, which is just things you'll never hear on the radio, but it's still enjoyment in the club. Like those tracks that you have to go to the club to hear them for the first time.
Right, right, right. Wow. That's a surreal moment
Yeah, it is. It
that you
definitely,
have to go
especially
to.
it was around my birthday. That's what was what's cool about it.
All right, let's go into wrestling for a moment.
All right.
What got you involved with wrestling?
So I have been a wrestling fan since, as corny as this may sound, 2 years old. All right. I still remember WrestleMania 2. Um,
Ah,
yeah, I remember WrestleMania 2. I grew up through the golden era, the new generation, the
uh-huh.
attitude era, WCW, all that. Like I'm a huge wrestling fan
Who is your favorite?
of all
Let's start
time.
with yeah, let's start with all time and then per era.
All right, of all time, I have to say RVD. Just hands
Okay.
down. He was just miles like ahead of everyone. Like all
Right.
the high flying and everything you see now it's a normal thing.
Right.
RVD back then in the early '90s, I think he might have been the only, other than the cruiserweights, he might have been really the only one doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very
You know.
flexible.
Oh yeah, and then he had the didn't he have a own weightlifting record made for him? It was the Van Dam split or something like that.
I, I'm not sure. I don't want to
Yeah, yeah,
speculate, but I heard something like that too.
yeah.
He's still wrestling.
Yeah, that's what's cool because he's a lot older now, but because of the way he trains and everything, he still wrestles like he was in the early '90s, which is
Yeah,
insane to really think about.
it's really crazy, and he's still in
Yeah.
amazing shape.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the golden era of wrestling.
So golden era would be, what'd you consider that, the '80s, the early '90s, right?
Let's say 80s, because
Okay.
the golden era is probably like in the 60s or 70s or something like that.
Okay. So yeah. So if you had to go golden era, I was a
Let's
big.
start with your time at WrestleMania 2.
So I was only 2 years old. Yeah. But it's crazy. I remember just a little bits and pieces of that. Like how big it was. Like,
Right.
as I got older, I got the watch matches. But it was kind of just that little seed that really grew into the wrestling fan I am today.
So who is it? Who is your favorite?
In the golden era,
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
um, it had to be a mix between Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm kind of, I like the bad guys more. If you want to get educated as far as wrestling goes, I love heels. I just
Right.
do. They're so much better in my view. I just like to see the heels and then them to overcome. And back in that day in the golden era, the top of the top was Hulk Hogan. There's so many people that faced them, and to see, especially with, I can't remember exactly what WrestleMania was, but the WrestleMania between Hogan and Warrior, to see how Warrior actually beat him that day. WrestleMania, that was wonderful to
Uh,
see.
I wasn't it 4?
I want to say, I'm not sure what I'm saying. Without looking it up, I'm not really sure, but you might be right.
Anybody in
I
the
don't know.
comments know? Can
I want to say six, but I feel like it's too far
yeah,
off
yeah. Maybe 6. Maybe
because I know
6.
I think five was with Slaughter because there was a whole controversy on that one.
Right.
I'm most positive about that.
Right. I think mine would probably be at that time Macho Man.
Yeah,
Like he was
Macho Man
pretty
was
like
definitely
he was very special wrestler for me.
like what. Yeah, no, and then especially one of my favorite promos he's ever did was the cream of the crop. Because if you ever watch that back, it's funny. It's so funny, but it's it's so well done.
What would you consider Shawn Michaels? Because he was like kind of in that golden era leading into the
They
Attitude Era.
So that's what I was gonna say, because if you want to go to the golden era to the attitude, Shawn Michaels to me is hands down the best. But if you look at the golden era, that's when he was kind of a jobber. Then in the new generation, towards the end of the golden era, the new
Right.
generation, he was with the Rockets, and then he kind of branched off into himself where he was with
Right.
Sherry Martel, and he was doing that whole thing. But I think
Right.
that's where people really remember him. But you forget, like, this is the same guy that fought, the Ultimate Warrior, and you don't even realize it because he
Yeah.
was a no name at that point, but he was
Right.
there for
Right.
that long. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe he ushered in the Attitude Era,
Oh
even
yeah.
though Stone Cold kicked it up, but with DX, him and Triple H.
Oh yeah. If you remember, one of my favorite funny things when Sergeant Slaughter was spitting in them in their face, and they had the
Then they had
windshield wiper.
the wiper thing on you.
Which, like I said, that was way before the Austin thing kicked out. But if you're right, Triple H and Shawn Michaels are the ones that started to branch everything up and down.
Yeah, because once Stone Cold came on and propelled it to that next level, and then The Rock comes like not too soon after that.
Yeah.
It's like they
It's
just
sort of
crushed WCW. It was
It
done.
was it. Yeah, the
So,
WCW had their moments, but like you said, once The Rock and Stone Cold came, it was over. It was a done deal.
yeah, I think with the NWO type stuff that they were killing it obviously in the beginning and beating them for like that year and change, whatever.
Mhm.
But it just became like too much. There's just too
It
many
was.
NWO.
It was
It's
like,
just
it's funny
like
because I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying, so if you look at the NWO, if they would have kept it, if they'd have kept it like maybe 5 or 6, I think it'd have been fine. And if you see that any of the newer factions, they don't
Right, right.
go any more than 5 and 6. Honestly, I think the biggest one to date, honestly, might be the Bloodline right now. The Bloodline, at first it was 3 of them.
Right.
Now it's got to be 7, right? If I'm
There's
or 6,
Roman, the
yeah.
Usos, Samoa, and Sammy, and then
And
Paul
then
Heyman.
and Hames, so it's 6. I'm
Right.
saying
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go any bigger than that. If you go any bigger than that, you're gonna have the same issue that NWO had, where you had NW 1, 2, 3, and 4. It
Right.
got
And then
ridiculous
it
after
was
a while.
like Wolf Pack, regular pack, no pack. You know what I'm saying?
Then it was Red and White. There was Hollywood,
That's
LWO.
it.
It's too much.
What after the Attitude Era, it kind of went in
Yeah.
like a little lull,
Hmm.
right? Then obviously Cena came along and started to pick
Yeah.
up again and all that. What do you think of the product today?
So the product today, I still watch because I'm a true wrestling fan, but I can't deny how up and down it's been.
So let me
Um,
ask you a question before you
Good.
continue. WWE or you branching out to AEW too?
I was branching out to AEW more,
Hmm.
but because of Triple H and
Taking
his whole
over.
regime taking over,
Right.
I was a huge fan of the original NXT. And
Absolutely.
now it's kind of the same way a little bit, but you can see the roots from
Right.
it. So
Right.
now I feel like I'm a kid in high school again, going back and forth between channels, which I know
Too, yeah, yeah.
not everyone knows about that, but that was an intense time on Mondays.
That was
you know,
that was, yeah.
commercial back.
Like,
Exactly. Let me just get
say,
two TVs.
let me just put. Nowadays, everybody has like two monitors or two TVs. Now they can watch them simultaneously.
Yeah, but no, it's good now. It's
Hey.
good. You know, um,
Right.
I enjoy it a lot. I really I like the slow burn. Like if everyone's watching the whole Bray Wyatt storyline, Bray Wyatt's a very slow burn, but that's gonna light up when the time is right.
Yeah, I feel like it's just dragging.
It is, but
Ugh.
I'm telling you, what once something really crazy happens, you're gonna be finally like you're invested enough where you have to watch it.
I think LA Knight is killing it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now that he's
He's
not Max Dupree.
oh dear God. I was so I was so upset about
uh,
that. I was like, just let him be him.
and he's killing it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's killing it. I want to go into AEW real quick. What do you
Okay.
think of Ricky Starks
Ricky
and
Starks.
his comparisons to The Rock?
So the funny thing is, it's accurate. Here's a guy that for the most part he was with Team Taz, and it's like, all right, no problem. But once he got away from Powerhouse Hobbs, you could see it. You can see that he's really there. And he just recently had the match with MJF,
MJF, yeah,
and it was a good match. That was a really good match,
it's a great
And
match.
this is someone that you didn't think was, he was just a background person, but now give him a couple of months. I guarantee he's going to be in the title picture again.
Right, right, right. And now the next title picture in AEW is Daniel Bryan. Oh, well, not Daniel
See,
Bryan, but Bryan
Brian
Danielson.
Daniels, I got you.
That's it.
um, so the fan in me wants, I want him to win the title, but I know he doesn't want it, and it makes
Right.
sense why he doesn't want it because he's openly said that he's probably not going to be full time by this time next year.
Yeah, definitely.
So and how he feels about the whole full time thing. That's why everyone was upset with Brock and The Rock doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. I hope he wins it, but we'll see. We will see.
So I think the next contender in AEW will be Wardlow.
He
I think
needs it.
that's coming.
He needs it. And honestly, the story writes itself. MJF's the champion. Like let him not win against Samoa Joe. Go over the MJF, and you're off on the races with that one.
Right, right, right. What do you feel of MJF as the champion for AEW at this moment?
I I think that's exactly what they needed because as much as I love AEW, it was a lot of floundering going on. Just it's there, it's a good product, but now with MJF and how outspoken he is, and him allow that he's allowed to say whatever word he wants.
Right.
And I know TBS is not too happy about it, but it's not like he cares.
Right.
But it's exactly what they need. Like you're gonna watch. Like the second he knocked out Regal, you're like, oh my god, what's going on? So anytime he has a promo or a match, you have to see it. He's
Right.
money. He's money for them. And
He is the
honestly,
man.
when his contract is up, Tony needs to pay him whatever he needs if he wants that company to stay in shape. Because if not,
I know.
he goes to WWE, he's not going to have the leniency that he has now. So
Oh, nah,
yeah.
they definitely won't give him that leniency.
So Tony needs to come out those pockets. That's all. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's just a different type of product than WWE.
Oh yeah, because you have to remember they have a lot of sponsorships and everything. And like, if you remember back in the Attitude Era, there wasn't things like that. That's why they were able to get away with everything they did.
Right, right, right. And that's one of the reasons I guess the whole Mandy Rose situation.
Exactly, but they said they told her, and the thing is, one of their huge sponsors is Mattel, and Mattel is
Right.
100% driven towards kids. There's
100%.
only so much they can do, and she was getting away with enough anyway. So let's be honest.
She was, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back to AEW real quick.
Okay.
The women's champ, Jamie
All right.
Hayter. What are your thoughts on Jamie?
I like it. You know why? Because I don't want to say she's homegrown, but it's not like someone that you really know about. It was kind of with the whole thing with Thunder Rosa before she messed everything up. You need you need an any wrestling promotion, you need one person that no one knows about, but is but it does a lot of work. And it's like, wow, I'm paying attention to them, not because they came from one company to another. I'm following them for them,
Right.
and that's why I think it's gonna be perfect. I would keep the title on her for a while and just go from there. A good great example of that. Um who's the TBS champion right now?
Jade Cargill.
Yes, Jay Carr. So like that's a perfect situation where that's TBS. You know her for her. That's why she has the whole the storyline coming up with Bow Wow.
Wow, wow, right. What are your thoughts on possibly the ex Sasha Banks joining AEW?
So see, that's the thing. Like it'd be cool, but at the same time, here's another WWE person coming over. Like you can only do but so many fantasy
WWE.
matches, and then after that, what happens? Look at that. Oh my god, I can't remember her name now. She just won the
Uh,
Ring of Honor Women's Championship from Mercedes.
Athena,
Yes, and she went by
aka
Ember
Ember
Moon.
Moon. Right.
So it's the same thing. Like it's cool, but eh.
It's the same thing, I guess, with Ruby Riot too. The ex Ruby
Yes, and
Riot,
I feel
Ruby
bad for her.
Soho.
I feel like she's getting the bad end of the stick right now because she's kind of in the same situation she was in WWE. Like they know about her, but you
Absolutely.
know.
All right. What about your thoughts on WWE? Let's go back to WWE when they took off the title off of Liv Morgan
Uh
because I thought it was a mistake.
it was, but I guess that's where it goes down to business. Like, what was she really doing? Like right now, it's back on Ronda, and you put anything on Ronda's money. You know, but you got to have, like I said, you have to have that homegrown talent. You could have done that with Liv Morgan, but I guess that's up to them. I can't really can't say any more about that.
Liv Morgan is my son Brandon's favorite wrestler.
I like that. Like, don't talk bad about her.
Sorry, Brandon. All right, let's turn our attention towards what's next for you. What are you up to nowadays?
So now I'm trying to take my DJ career into a even more professional level. I want to
Okay.
be doing like really big shows, not just bars and clubs and everything, but really big shows. One of my things I really want to be known for is being the wrestling DJ. Where I can come to the shows, and whether it's before the show or an after party, like I want to be known for that. I think that'd be really cool because I've seen many times where people just conjugate. You know what? Put a little bit of music in there, let people party a little bit. Why not?
Right. Have you ever mixed some like wrestling themes into some songs?
I've tried a couple of things. I was really big on the whole mashup era.
Uh huh.
You know, I've tried a couple of things, nothing I released yet, but we'll see. In the future, I might have to release it.
Are you currently DJing in local clubs and stuff like that?
um, right now, no spot in particular, but I'm always open. It's no more than a phone call and inquire about me, and we can work some magic.
That's right. What about some spots that you have done?
Um,
Any spots that you can mention?
yeah, plenty of spots. It's really not around anymore. Like I DJed at a spot called Zebra back in the day.
Mhm.
It was a place called Brewhouse. I DJed at just a couple of clubs. There's so many because remember I've been doing this since like basically
Oh, wow.
2009.
No one beats Liv.
He's serious about it.
He's serious about it. Alright, so next up for you is some bigger halls? Is that what you're
Yeah,
looking at?
that's what I'm really trying. I want to do bigger halls and I want to do more things towards the community, more corporate things. Like I said, I really really want to start working on being an official DJ for wrestling promotion. I definitely want to do that. I think that'd be really good,
Listen, you're in the right place right
right?
here. Anybody out there, Remarkable Wrestling, VPW, CZW, wherever.
Please, like I said, I'm no more than a text or
Creative
phone
Pro.
call away.
Have you had any good interactions with wrestlers?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's so funny because what you see in the ring. It, I would say for the most part, what you see out of the ring, they're a completely different person. You know, I love that. I love that. It's just you see how they are, and they're decent human beings. And I think a lot of people, don't understand that too much. It's like, oh, he's such a bad guy. It's like, yeah, hold on. That's my friend. Leave him alone,
That's right. I know plenty of bad guys are my friends.
right? Exactly. We're bad guys by association too. That's fine. They're our
That's it.
friends.
All right. It's been great chatting with you. I
Yeah,
had a great
Papa.
time.
I appreciate you having me on the show. I know we've been trying to do this for a while now, but thank you very much, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, if you need a DJ, make sure you look for DJ Roosta. Where can they find you, DJ Roosta?
Uh, they can find me on Facebook. They can find me on Instagram. That's really it for right now, but even one of those, you can definitely hit me up in my DMs and we can make something happen. It's not even a problem.
Hit him up in his DMs.
Yep.
Hey, before we close out, thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
Maybe, in the future we'll have you back on.
Definitely.
We'll talk more wrestling.
I'm always down for that.
All right, coming up next will be Notorious in February as far as where you can catch PapaDenk. Notorious is coming out featuring Notorious Mimi, the Victory Pro Wrestling champion Mike Anthony, not Jack Tomlinson. Sorry, Jack. But Jack will be there as well. Dante Drago, Brother Greatness, Eric James, the VPW Women's Champion Valentina will be there, as well as New York State Champion Desmond Cole, aka the Big Boofa. What are your thoughts on the Big Boofa?
I love the big boofer.
He's amazing.
I love the big booth. I like his edges. I like everything about it.
Everything about the Big Boofa is
Oh yeah,
great.
I like him.
Make sure you stay tuned. We got vlog interaction coming up soon, where we will find out what's going on with the 23-6 title exclusively on Papa Denk's channels. And last but not least, our next broadcast will be this Thursday at 7. My guests, or I think in the chat still, are the dudes at Ringside Podcast. They will be with me on Thursday. And I don't know if you know who the dudes are, but that face says it all. It's the face of Metal
They're
Geek.
good guys. They're good guys.
They are good guys. Oh, so
Yes,
you do
they
know
are.
them.
Oh yeah, I've met them a couple of times. Yeah.
Make sure you stay tuned for that episode. DJ Roosta, thank you for coming on. Hopefully, we can
Anytime.
see each other real soon somewhere. I don't know where, but soon. Let me know if you're DJing somewhere because I'll come down.
Definitely, man. If you don't
I'm
see me
I'm
then, I think I have to stop down by VPW. I really think I have to go to that show.
I'm a club party guy, so I like to party even at 50. When you're
Let's do,
single, you got to go out and party.
let's do it. I'm
Let's
your
do it.
DJ. I'm your
All
DJ. Whatever
right,
you need, I'm your DJ.
all right. Let me know where you're playing, man.
You got it. I will.
All right, everybody. Oh, we got another. Yo, what's up, dudes? We'll
There they
see you
go.
on Thursday, dudes. Make sure you follow Mr. DJ Rooster over here as I keep messing up this. There he is. Keep following DJ Rooster, please. Make sure all your DJ needs, you get him on your program, show, birthday, whatever. Get DJ Roosta. All right. And hey, let me tell you, if anybody asks me what DJ to get, I'm gonna recommend you.
Thank you,
Because I
man.
didn't really know
Appreciate
any JJs until I met you.
it. Hey, it's no one in the conversation. You know, you meet someone, you figure out, wow, we have a lot more in common than we thought.
The dude's got to come. We're finally making our Beyond the Barricade debut. Yes, you guys are. Let's try to keep it rated PG.
Right?
I don't think it's gonna happen, but all right, everybody. Everybody have a great night. DJ Roosta, we'll see you soon, brother. Take care.
See you, man. Hey.